Evening, everyone. Thanks for coming in. Hope you're all safe and well. Tonight we are back with Tim from Ghosted UK. We've not seen Tim for, it's been a wee while since we last saw
Yes,
you. A few months, isn't it?
it's been a while. Yeah, definitely been a while.
So we thought we'd get him back in and just have a wee hour or so's chat with him. See what he's been up to, if he's been behaving or been in trouble, whatever it might be. You don't know. We don't know what he's been up to, so we're going to find out tonight anyway, I reckon. So thanks for coming in, buddy. We have missed you. Sarah would have been here, but she's up at her mum's babysitting. So how's life now that we're back to level 0 or whatever it is?
Busy, very busy. I think just investigation after investigation at the moment has been crazy. And we've done a few events to raise money for the venues. We've done one at St George's Theatre not long ago, which was quite an eventful night.
Do tell, as they say, do tell.
Yeah, we're in there, and we were doing like whistles, and I turned around and said, "If you think I'm sexy, can you whistle?" And no reply. I said, "If you think I'm ugly, give us a whistle," and there was a whistle. And I thought, you cheeky bugger. We were getting whistles. We all of us heard these whistles in there. We couldn't pinpoint where they're coming from. They seemed to come from one direction, a different direction, another one, and that was quite amazing. Hopefully, it weren't anyone in there doing it, but because you got an event where you got people you didn't know, but everyone seemed. I didn't feel like there's anyone doing it, but they were loud. Mm-hmm. They were loud whistles. Yeah, that was really unbelievable. Yeah. But they were coming different directions, so that's when I thought, well, I don't think there's anyone, which I hope it weren't. Then we had a tap switch on, which apparently flooded one of the rooms, which we did get it checked out later on, and they said that was a malfunction of the tap, apparently. But that was a push tap, and it completely flooded. And the tap thing that go in the sink, that was in there, which it weren't in there, but apparently it was in there, and obviously it overflowed. And I mentioned the tap earlier about the I said, "Hope that don't flood," because that was dripping, only a tiny drip, but So, and electrical light kept coming on, and apparently they said that was electrical fault, so we left it at that. It was quite, and I caught that piano sound, someone hitting the key of a piano, bing.
I think you told me about that on the phone last week. We were talking the week before.
Yeah.
I think you told me about. How did it feel when the spirit told you were ugly? Basically, how did it? Was that a knock to your confidence?
No, I just thought it's funny. Sometimes you get a reaction. You ask us silly things sometimes, and you get a reaction, and that's what I'm hoping for. Not, I was only rude, and you polite. You get say a funny thing. You sometimes get a reaction, which we do, and that always seemed to work for us. So yeah, that was a really good night. Yeah, it was interesting. I enjoyed that. That was. We also some of the I think it was coat hangers were moving as well on the live. Some people say it's wind and stuff like that. There's no wind. I checked. There's no wind coming through or through anywhere. And the thing is, that was turning 360 like that. But the other ones weren't moving. So if that was wind, they all would have moved. That was a bit of draft wind. But yeah, that was quite interesting. Yeah, we also done the. What else did we do? We done an event at Harwich Fort. That was good. That was interesting. A good night there as well. What did we have there? I'll tell you one thing that happened there was quite interesting, apart from the knocks. Because we get our knocks, and I asked for knock once, yes, twice for no. And I thought of an idea. I thought, wonder if they know who we are, and if they could knock in a specific spot, because normally when knocks, they're again in like the atmosphere, you can never tell where they're coming from. So I thought, well, Daniel, who was with us, the guest, was my nephew. He stood down the other end in this little narrow passageway thing where we were getting the knocks, and I said, "Can you knock behind Dan?" Because I thought, A, will he know who Dan is, and B, will he know where he's standing to knock behind him? So I said, "Can you knock behind Dan?" Lo and behold, the knock came behind Dan. And there was 2 witnesses who were guests for the event, and they both witnessed this knock behind him. So that was quite interesting to think, well, they know who you are and where you're standing, so they're like there with you, because most of the knocks are all everywhere, if you know what I mean, normally.
Mm-hmm. See, we were saying about the questions, you ask different kind of questions and you got reactions. This is something I've always kind of wondered, and I think I've said it in a few lives as well. Everybody you've done hundreds of investigations, and everybody kind of tends to use the same questions. Do you think if you alter your questions and ask things that are totally, not the sort of normal run-of-the-mill questions, do you think you get a better response then than you do saying the usual stuff?
Yes, that's sometimes you go to a place and you might be talking about, how old you are, are you male and female, and then you say, do you, and then we'll come out of a surprise one, do you like fish and chips? Mm-hmm. Or what's your favourite drink? And things like that. I mean, that definitely works, because also you never know where you are. Like we mentioned World War II things, did you like violin? And then sometimes we'll play music, like violin, to bring the atmosphere up, which works. We had one, we were doing a warehouse, and that was quiet, weren't much happening. And I don't know what it is, it's a feeling I get to, because I know the place was bombed during the war. And so I said, do you like violin? And I started playing music of that era. And then we got a figure dancing in the hallway and the REM pod going off at the same time. Mm-hmm. And then when we get into some interesting responses through the Goosed box. So yes, you have to think out of the box sometimes. You have to try all different things, and people think we're mad and go, "What's that related to?" Why are you talking about horses, or why are you talking about this, or food? And that could be something they loved,
When they were a couple of questions, just for something on, but did you say, I look at it that after you die, whatever we want to call it, we're the exact same spirit as we were in life, So my way of thinking, maybe it's stupid, maybe it's not, but my way of thinking, if someone in life is asking me the same question over and over again, you get fed up with it.
Oh yeah,
bored. And I think, again, it's just my way of thinking that a certain location is getting investigated time and time again, and there is a spirit there, and they're getting asked the same question, and there might be the attitude, I'm not answering because I'm totally fed up. Or, whatever. But if somebody comes in and you says, do you like fish and chips? It's a different kind of question. They've never been asked that before, so they want to answer it.
Sometimes don't answer the question. Sometimes we'll put the Ghosted box on, and you might not see that on the live a lot of the times, and we'll just sit there yapping about old times or things about the pub or whatever. Oh, look at that lovely picture, and we'll just sit there talking amongst ourselves. And then you'll see what response you get, and we've heard things like, "Who are you talking about?" Or, "What are you talking about?" And then if they start talking, "Hello," or whatever, then we can say, "Oh, hello," and that, and just like they're sitting next to us having a conversation. Instead of 1,000 questions shoved them. As an investigator, you do want to ask questions because you're trying to find out who they are, you know, and trying to get you know, answers to why they're there and, you know, who they are, sort of thing. That's the difficult bit. But if you keep banging on too many, it bores me to tears.
No, exactly. You know, you say as an investigator, you're wanting answers. You know, as everybody else
it's
does.
difficult.
But you're wanting, same time, you want your answers. You're also wanting the spirit to try and interact with you.
Yeah.
They feel comfortable enough with you that they will interact with you.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like a child. You know, try to get somebody's confidence. You know, to interact with you. Wayne's asking if you could investigate anywhere. Where would you go?
Let me think. I wouldn't mind Alcatraz. That'd be quite interesting. That'd be quite amazing. And I think one of the other places was Egypt, in the tombs, around that area. I think that'd be quite interesting. See if you can get anything from there. That'd be that's my dream. That and Alcatraz. Alcatraz is one of them places I'd love to visit anyway. I love castles. I do love castles as well. So there's one in Germany that we've been offered to go to, but obviously we can't go. And I think the Dracula's castle is one of them. We were going to do a Dracula tour. No, I say Dracula tour, a castle tour of Germany and around that area, and because we know a few people who were there and who said we could go. That'd be quite interesting. I think the history, Dracula's car. Oh yeah, definitely.
Alcatraz.
Nothing.
Jennifer for your American team, she's been there. We've done a live earlier on this year in Alcatraz, and it's just got that whole atmosphere about it. Even seeing it on films or photographs, it's just got that kind of haunted atmosphere. And you think everything that went on there.
Yeah.
You know, over the years. Shrimp Shack was asking, Shrimp Shack, have you got a ghost box?
Oh yeah, but I built my own. I built my own ghost box. I did look at the interesting thing I liked was the Geo box, but I found that a bit more about it, and they really use apps and stuff. You use it if you got a Geo box, but how they show it on the TV, it's just the box. They don't show you in the background with their phone going. It's using an app. You can use certain like a radio. I call it. I forget what it's called now, buddy. Oh crikey, SB7. You could use that, but they use apps. That's as far as I know. That's not what you think it is on there. But I want to build something similar to that, which I did, and that's really good. We've been impressed with that since I've been messing around but doing bits and pieces with it. And basically the radio search on it is searching the white noise between radio stations, and that's quick search. It's like very quick, like 800 spaces a second that could do, and that's how we get the voices through. So yeah, people say, oh, you picked up radio. You picked up radio. That's what it is. Not my voices from the radio. No, you do. Yeah, and I was. That's our favourite machine at the moment because it's been really effective. We've had some amazing stuff, like a Russian lady who we had in a pub. I think we've done it on a live, and she got her poor dad that passed come through speaking in Russian. She was obviously upset. And she said, "That's my dad," and we were like, "Wow." So yeah, that was quite impressive. Things like that. But
so sometimes you get. I mean, we've been on a few investigations the last couple of weeks. Last week, or 2 weeks ago, we went to a castle near the Noor Castle, it's called, and the girl who was doing it, there's a necrophonic app we're using, and she says, how many people were in this room, and it came through straight away, clear as a bell, 3. And there was only 3 in the room.
Yes, yeah. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for validation
Yep.
We've had it where we've asked how many people are in the building, and I said 7, whatever it was. How many are male? 2. How many female? 5. We asked them questions, and they know, like, super intelligently answered. And you know, it's like they're there. They've got to be there to know these questions. Obviously, probably sitting next to you. And they go, and Margaret, we got. She was that was quite impressive with the knocks. But there are questions we were asking, and just straight off the fly, intelligent, all intelligent answers. And then when
really
and the tester is to try and not ask nothing and just say, you know, like the knocks, keep it a minute rest and just sit there, and then start asking, send if it come through again, to not, you know. But I think Wayne, oh yeah, Dad's Army. I just say, oh yeah, Wayne. I just sent my messages. Yeah.
Dad's Army, Arthur Lowe, Captain Mannering.
Yeah, that was Arthur Lowe we got through. Yeah, that was quite impressive. Those knocks were loud. Our live was pretty poor, but luckily I had it backed up on another camera. So, but the quality, I mean, because we were out in the middle of nowhere. But Dad's Army was amazing. That was just beyond. And I think we got an EVP that night as well, which it said we were talking about a place called St Mary's, and on the EVP it said, I think Darren, the owner, was saying about St Mary's and said, it was saying something about, are we going to St Mary's or something like that, and then the EVP we captured, who's Mary, like that really high pitched like lady, I think, I assume. And I said, who's Mary, like that really loud and clear on the EVP. So that's what we believe there's a lady there as well. We've had a few lady MVPs, but the Arthur Lowe thing experience was that made my 50 Christmases at once. That did.
I'm sure I've watched that, but when as you say, we get a good EVP. It's you know, it's hi Craig, buddy. It's with 50 Christmases. We've been working with a team recently called Haunted Scotland. They're out tonight, but they were at last Wednesday, I think it was. They went to a Drossing Castle up in Ayrshire, and the Necrophonic again. And they says to them, you know, one of the guys asked the question, which Scottish hero is associated with this castle? And it came out clear. I mean, I was watching it, and it came out clear as a bell, Wallace and William. You know, it was the other way around, but William Wallace has strong ties to a Drossing Castle, and he's said to actually haunt there as well. Whether that bit's true, I don't know, but we do know there is ties between William Wallace and the Drossing Castle, and it came out clear as a bell, Wallace and William.
Ah, right. Validation.
As a granted, granted it was back to front, but it was still the correct name.
That's what I'm personally looking for, is validation. It's something that I've always respected. You know, if you can get validation of something like that, it's just amazing. It sends shivers down your spine. You know, I started rubbing my arm there. I got an itch. Something bit me again. It's just a validation of it all. That's what I always look for, because it's no good point going. I've been long while ago doing investigations, and it's no good saying, oh, that was a good night, and you're looking at the stuff you might have captured and you think, was it paranormal, you know, was it spirit, ghost, whatever, you know. But when you get the validation and you get the evidence and stuff like that, and you think, wow, you know, and you get responses, it's a big thing, you know. You want to be 100% possibly sure that it's paranormal, and then stuff we capture is, to me, like blowing my mind. It's like, and I'm like, wow, you know, that's fantastic. You know, it makes you feel you're doing it, worthwhile doing it when you do that. You know, in the past, you know, years ago, and you get nothing. You know, that's been a build up, especially after the last few years. It's got like ridiculously. We're getting better and better, and we've made mistakes. We've done the wrong thing, but it's just a learning curve. And the more you do it, the more you think. If you keep thinking 100% debunk, it's got to be paranormal. You know, this is what we're looking for. We want something. Could that have been Andrew breathing over there, or was it? If I think as someone on the team or whoever, that's their breath, and I'm not 100%, I'll never share it. You'll never see it. It sits in the vault as a question mark. But if I think it's 100%, I can go back, look at the CCTV, see if there was something being moved, and I look at the different cameras. If anyone been in there, switch the light on, I can tell. We've had that scenario. We've had like a hand go over and touch the CCTV, and I checked all the other CCTV, and I can't be 100% sure that was someone who was there had touched it. Not the team, but you know, you get the owners, whatever. Maybe a couple of people join in, but I can't be sure that was them or a spirit hand. So I never posted it because I'm not 100% sure.
Because you're not sure, you don't know. It is,
No.
you know, I think we've mentioned a few times, Tim, you've been on about debunking. It is important to try and debunk, because I think the more you debunk, the more people see that you are genuine, that you are looking at both sides of the coin. You're not just jumping. I mean, me and one of the guys who Haunted Scotland were out 2 nights ago. We were at this abandoned building, and we were at the front of the building, and we kept hearing what sounded like a banging noise coming from the back of the building. This building subsides, and now it's in the middle of nowhere. There was nobody else about, and we were thinking, you know, what the hell's that? And it was going on and on and on. I went to have a wee look about half an hour into the live, and it turned out we had heavy rain that day or the day before, and there was like 3 or 4 drips. For some reason, they were dripping at the same time, and they were creating this noise, you know. But obviously, because of the size of the building, and we were in another room, it sounded like a kind of banging, but it was just drips of water.
Just drips of water?
Aye, that's what it was. But to hear it at the front of the building, it was like a kind of bang, bang, bang. You think, what the hell is that? There's nothing here that can be doing that, and it turns out it's water. So I think we've talked about it before, you know, debunking stuff, but then you get the stuff that you can't debunk.
Yeah, it's you got to debunk it because you want to be as best you knowledge that is, you know, that is genuine stuff. Because I've seen so much, excuse the pun, crap out there, and I thought, oh my God, really? Why are you posting that? Or, I think that's just rubbish, you know. It's not. I've said this about certain equipment. If you put it when you're live near your mobile phone when you're live, it will set it off, and it's just. It's not good sitting there with live with your camera pointing at near a K2 meter, like 2 feet away, going, oh, I've got a figure coming. I've seen people zoom in on a K2 meter. It just annoys me because it's not paranormal. It's your bloody phone, and if you got a light on top of your phone, that's even going to trigger it. Test it, you know. I mean, we've made mistakes like that in the past. You know, ages ago, we didn't realise the K2s were that sensitive, and we thought, so, you know, use them, but just make sure there's nothing, no live. You don't use them on live. Just use them when your phones are all switched off and there's nothing electrical near it, because it will set it off, you know. And it's just fake. It doesn't. I've seen people put K2 meters or meters next to a lamp that's on. No. I've seen people on TV do it, and I think, no, don't do that. I never put 2 bits of equipment together, which we keep saying. If you put 2 bits of equipment, even 2 REM pods close to each other, they will trigger one to the other. I wouldn't always do it, but it might do, and occasionally I've seen it do it. Well, they both light up at the same time. They go, oh, we've got, but no, because you've got a battery in them, and that one's got a battery, and then they spike over the electric from a battery if they're like 2 inches away. You know, you've got to be common sense to split all the equipment up, keep it distant. You know, if that's just so you know us 100% sure that you're getting a hit on the REM pod that is not normal, you know, energy, a spike, you know, from somewhere, or mobile phone or something triggering it. Normally, you know, you've got to be 100% sure, because what's the point? You know, people said to me, "That's you speaking," whatever, and I said, "No, what can I say? It wasn't me, but why would I put my own voice on there and go, oh, it's an EP?" God, you tell that, because I ain't gonna do it. But people don't understand that. They think, because they see so much, not sorry to say, but there is a lot of crap on for views. Views is money, and that's why they do it. I know a few people who do it, who are well known, who do it, and it's views for money. What can you say, man? It's up to them, but it doesn't help your genuine teams at all when they're doing it like that, because they'll look at yours and think, well, if that one was fake, I saw, then yours is fake. You know, everything paranormal is fake then, and that's people off.
We joined for GSI under a question for Wayne. I'll cover your question 2 seconds, Wayne. We joined for GSI on last night, and that's what we were talking about. You know, we weren't naming anybody in particular, but they've been kind of outed as fake, so it puts a bad light on everybody else. Everybody else thinks, well, if that team's faking it, what's every other team doing? You know?
Yeah, it's all about, you know, you see the ones with, if I done a video and I say got a bit of string and moved a chair across the room and went, shh, right? And I said, look, what we captured, I'd probably get thousands of views, right? If I'd done something of a pencil coming off a unit, you know, falling off, and it was genuine, I'd get like 50 views.
Exactly. People, we're the same. We're the same. We're using some of the investigations we've done. You know, we've had stuff that we cannot debunk. You know, it's silly thing. We were out like a few weeks ago now, but we're at a Cardinier, and one of the cat balls came flying off this metal railing. Now, nobody hit it. Nobody was standing beside it. You know, nobody. I thought somebody had actually flicked it. You know what I think, but nothing. This thing just came flying off. We couldn't debunk that, but I don't think we get very many views on it. But I think that's the other problem with the paranormal. People are views and subs driven.
It's all gone limited now. All people want to be limited companies, and it's pay per view. But partly I do blame Facebook for pushing it on the people. We get offered all sorts. We get sponsorship. We've been offered all sorts of stuff off Facebook, and contracts, for business contracts. Do VIP thing, and they pay into it each month. But the time to get lost. I'm not interested. If you want me to do a live, it's for free. I know people do an hour's live for free, and then you go into VIP paid thing. About it's money. But they, you know, not to burst anyone's bubble, but the people who are asking for money for paranormal and using a gift, you don't pay money for a gift. It's a gift that's a freebie. You give someone, not pay for your gift. I don't believe in it, but that's personal. I don't care whatever. It's up to whatever people want to do. That's their choice. I don't give a rat's arse. That's their choice, and I'm not dissing them. That's just my personal opinion. If it's all about the Shimonas,
We're the same,
and
but we've been running just
but it's
over.
up to people.
Aye, it's everybody's individual choice. We've been running just over a year now or something like that, like back June, end of June, July. But we've no, I don't believe in asking for money. You know, no disrespect to these people that do, but you see, I've watched a few lives, and every 10, comment and chat is a PayPal link.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, please donate or whatever. It's something
yeah,
we never ask for money, and we never ever will ask for it, because we're doing something we love. And as you say, you do it for free. You do it because you love it. You don't. Unfortunately, there is teams, groups out there that are wanting the cash at the end of the day, and it shines a bad light on everybody else. You know.
it's money for views, money subs this and PayPal me this, and you can buy a bear, a T-shirt, blah blah blah. They've got a shop going, mugs. You can buy this. It's a money orientated world, and that's up to them. I mean, personally, we do it as something we enjoy doing, and we won't charge people. I mean, we've done a private one. They took out 50, 100 quid and go, here, it's for your time, and we said, what? No, we don't want the money. Here's the money. I don't want it.
Or you can make us a cup of coffee.
What? How much? Yeah, all I said was a cup of tea and some biscuits will do.
Or a can of iron brew. Use a can of iron brew, though, I'll be fine. No, I mean, that's. Going back to the numbers, your numbers, we hit 1,800 followers a day on Facebook, which we're over the moon about. But I like to see the numbers going up, because it lets us know that we're doing something right. We're heading the right direction. We're doing stuff that people are enjoying. As you know, we cover history and the paranormal, but it lets us know, right, people are enjoying what we're doing.
You can boost followers. You see, that's what they partly use the money through Facebook. Part of the money you get from subs, you pay for boosts, and also that boosts your followers. I know someone who got 50,000 followers in 4 weeks. But you could tell you can tell they in 100% followers because their views were low. They weren't.
Well, that's it. Aye. It's the same on YouTube.
Well, they're bored.
I've watched channels that say they've got 5,000 subs, but if you watch one of their lives, they've only got maybe 20 people watching.
No, not in subs, but there's hardly any.
Aye.
VIP. But they're making money, isn't it? It's as simple as that. That's what they want to do, and the thing is, Facebook can be a bit arsey. They can not give people the notifications on your followers. I think we got 16,500 followers on Facebook. We don't pay for boosts or nothing like that. I think we paid for one boost once that Natasha paid for, and I said, don't do it, give them bloody money. And she didn't. I think she's done it for one. That was a long while ago, but because you don't really know what it entails. So don't give them a bleeding penny.
We've done it once or twice. I'm sure it was the Edinburgh stuff. It was either Edinburgh or Pendle stuff. We done it, but I'm giving back once. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it now. Wayne put his question up a wee while ago. So answer it, Wayne. What made you both believe in spirits? I'll let you go first, Tim, since you're the guest.
I think I said before. I've done a Ouija board when I was 10 and got nearly hit by a picture that came off the wall. And I couldn't explain how the picture came off the wall. My friends who were with me at the time screamed and ran. And I couldn't sleep for weeks. And I'd seen a spirit as well. That was a relation of mine who'd passed when I was camping in Derbyshire. Stood at the end of in the tent at the end and spoke to me and said everything's all right. And they said I was looking at someone I woke them all up the early hours of the morning. They said, you're just staring at the thin space and you would sort of like someone stand there. And I explained what happened in the morning. They thought I was obviously telling tales, whatever, because we're camping, obviously, you know, the old goose
I
stories.
know campfire stories and stuff.
And I said that was my relation. And when we got back the Friday, this was the Wednesday of about 1 or 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. When I got back the Friday, Mum called me, I'm getting him, said, you better sit down, whatever. I go, what? I said, your relation died. And I found out he died the Wednesday at night. So, who I saw and spoke, sort of said hello to, well, actually, I don't think I said anything. I think I just, what the hell's going on, you know? And was I dreaming? I don't know. But if it was a dream, that was a very odd one, because I woke everyone up and they witnessed me just staring at someone. They thought I'd gone mad. And I said exactly, I just seen my relation standing at the end of the tent. And he said everything's going to be fine. So,
and he'd passed?
He'd passed, yeah. At the same time, I'd seen him roughly, we worked out Wednesday, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I believe, or 1 o'clock in the morning. This has gone back a few years, bloody hell. I'm not 21 anymore. So,
I'm not seeing you.
And I've seen another one like it as well. But that was my thing, you know. I could, you know, that's always been my interest. Always, always had an interest. UFOs, for instance, Loch Ness Monster, and things like that. Witches, you know, ghost stories and interest in folklore and things like that.
So you're something the same as me, you know, with your interest, you know, apart from UFOs. I believe there is something there, but I'm not big on the UFO. No offence to whoever it is, I'm just no big in the UFOs.
It's not easy to investigate, trust me.
No, I wouldn't imagine. What got me into spirit was many years ago. I went to see a medium. I used to go to Spiritualist Church every Sunday, and this was actually a Thursday night. I'd heard of this other one in a different town from where I lived, and the last minute thing, this thing started at 7. I jumped in the car the back of 6 and just decided to go. Nobody knew me. Totally different town from where I lived. I was there myself. As soon as it started, the medium came to me straight away and told me about my daughter that I'd lost. And she told me her name, told me she'd been sitting on my knee. She told me stuff about my gran. She told me about an ex-girlfriend who'd passed away a few years earlier, but in America, she told me everything, the exact way that she passed. There's no way this woman could have known any of that stuff, because my first wife didn't know most of it. You know, she knew got a daughter, but ex-girlfriend. Wee things about my gran, wee kind of personal habits my gran used to have, they used to annoy us. This woman told us about them, and that's what got me, that's what convinced me. Obviously I told other people about it and they were saying, you're talking rubbish. They said, well, you tell me how she can tell me, you know, about my daughter and her name, and she can tell me about, you know. It's
amazing. There's some really gifted mediums out there. Really gifted mediums out there who I've been told stuff, and there's no way they would have known something, you know, no way on this earth would they have known about something. There's not many people who knew something I knew, and the lady knew exactly, and I was shocked because I thought, oh, is she a medium, is she, and she told me stuff that no way she would have known that one. A lot of the stuff she got wrong, but this specific thing she got right. And I thought, how did you know that?
How the hell do you know that? Kathy says she's done pretty well. We haven't posted her over 2 years and get around 5 new followers every week. Who needs boost? That's it, Kathy. If you're getting new followers and you're not doing very much, I mean, we took about a 2 or 3 week time out a few weeks ago. We done nothing. We went on holiday. And we done nothing. I think we done some posts for Pendle, and our followers went up. Craig's got an interesting question. Craig's actually part of us. That's Laura's husband. What interests you more, the history side of things or the question of life after death?
Ooh,
that's a good question, isn't it? That's a good one.
I like them both, to be honest with you. I love history. I hated history, to be honest with you, years ago. I couldn't stand the damn thing. But then when I do investigation, and then I thought, actually, I've got to start learning some history. Like if you saw a figure, people send me pictures, of what they believe is a ghost, a spirit standing there, and they think, I think it's 1700s, whatever. So you got to sort of learn the outfits they would have worn at the time, or we're out investigating, we might see something, or so you got to know what costumes they, and it's bloody hard, trust me. And and things before the what's there now. A lot of the buildings are obviously gone now and underground, half of them, buried somewhere.
Aye.
But there'd have been an old settler's place there and stuff like that too. Would they have hanged anyone? I mean, we've done a house where there was an apparent hanging there, but we couldn't, because we had a spirit who seemed to like the lady there. But there was also history before that, so you need to learn, about, like the witches stuff, the stories about the witches and what people would have. You can also relate to what they used to eat and things they used to say. How they what's it called? Mannerisms. Like bead. Was it bead? Something they used to drink years ago called bead. If I'm right.
Mead.
And that's quite. Not bead, mead. That's it.
The MEAD.
Mead. Yeah. Mead. Yeah. And you can ask them questions. Would you like a mead or something? And they might not understand it because it's later on or whatever. And then years ago they drank that. So it's nice to know the history, definitely. And sightings as well, when you go to some of these places like monks, to know, would they have been in this area at the time, where would their normal life really, which was quite simple really, it's not complicated.
Aye, there was nothing hard about it. I'm kind of, the crazy question, I don't know, I'm kind of 50-50. I'm the same with both of them, history and the paranormal, hence what we do. I mean, my favourite part of history is the Tudor period. We're big Tudor fans. We've done a lot of Henry VIII last year, and his wives and everything, and the Pendle Witch, early 1600s with the Pendle Witch trials and that. I love that. But it sounds kind of macabre. I love the Pendle Witch story, but I do. That's why we've done so much on the Pendle Witches. But
research.
Aye, but one thing that fascinates me is, as you were saying, about castles and stuff like that, is when we go to old ruins, I'll stand and I'll study the building. And we done it. We were away to Lindisfarne on, I think it was last week we went to the whole island. We visited there last week and we were at the Abbey, and I was just looking at the Abbey dates back to 635 AD. So you're going back a long time. And when you stand and you look at these buildings and how they were constructed way back then, with, basically nothing. Tool-wise, technology-wise, there wasn't any technology. And you look at how these places were put together, castles and what have you done way back then. That's what fascinates me.
Craftsmen, you think some of these castles dating 400, 800 AD or 400 AD, they're amazing. The skills they had to build some of this stuff is amazing. You think of the pyramids, ridiculous, crazy. It's just amazing that it's then they start coming into, were the aliens helped them? No, I'm joking. Because obviously UFO, they believe they're aliens, don't they? But the tech, you couldn't even use it if you use a laser technology to level it off. That was perfect. You can get a cigarette paper between each joint, and it's wow. Yeah, it's some of these castles are amazingly, built perfect. You think, how the hell, mate? Just amazing.
How did you? Gail's got a question, but before I come to Gail's question, I watched a documentary, must have a few years back now, which Stonehenge, how they built
Yes.
that, and these, I don't know if you've ever seen it, there was about 5 or 6 top engineers, and what they did was they says, well, we're going to try and create one of the arches,
Yeah. Yeah.
just using what we think they had back then, whenever it was built, and these guys gave up. They couldn't do it.
No. I don't know how
These, these are the top guys in their field, and they say we can't do it.
Yeah.
And that's what amazed me, that we, I don't know how old Stonehenge is. You're talking a couple of thousand years. I don't know. But these guys back then managed to do it. But then our top engineers in this country, in this day and age, couldn't manage it.
It's amazing, and I think it. And also, these places have got secrets. These buildings have got secrets. Trust me, there's things that even historians didn't even know about. Because I've spoke to a few, and they've come across stuff that didn't make any sense. And how certain things they've designed into the building as well, like secret passages and spy holes and things. Because some of these buildings had cellars, and they say, "Oh, that's to store the drink, your wine cellar." But a lot of it was storing, the same as churches. They store the gold, because if you've got to think this. It's like the Wild West out there years ago. It wasn't a safe place.
I kept hold there until Henry got a hold there.
Yeah, it wasn't a safe place. People probably got murdered all the time and bloody. Robbed all the time. It was the same as the Wild West. You didn't, you weren't safe. There was no such thing as safe. There ain't never been anything safe, but you got more chance of getting murdered before you just popped to the pub across the. Would you? But yeah, so they used to hide stuff all the time. That was the thing, to hide stuff. And there's probably a load of gold hidden somewhere under some churches or stuff. I think one of the churches.
Are you thinking the amount of ruins there are across this country? There's got to be.
Yes.
Dash somewhere.
So you treasure hunters, get out there, ask permission. But yeah, I think yes, there's loads of stuff out there hidden. Still got to find out more stuff yet. We haven't found all our history yet. Trust me.
Oh no, there's still loads and loads to come. So Gail's asking. Gail's coming out with us next week. We met Gail and her family on holiday, I should say.
Oh, Gail.
Her and her husband are coming out with us next Friday. Gail's very interested to see how it all kind of works, for want of a better word. So she said, do you believe witches and demons are real?
Oh, blooming heck. Well, I've met a few witches in my time. They got on my nerves. No. I don't know. I really didn't know. I mean, they say if there's good, there's evil. I ain't crossed anything. I mean, I've caught some demonic, like voices and stuff like that, and some felt evil. But I don't want to become say don't believe in it, because I ain't witnessed. I ain't witnessed yet. Witches, people put spells on. They still do. There's witches out there now that do voodoo and all sorts as well. That put spells on people, and apparently it's happened. So I don't know. I think a lot of witches got classed as a witch because we're a right shit stirrers, if you know what I mean. in the past, you're a witch, Scott. And where are you? There you're a witch.
That's fine. I believe there is witch. You get white witches, but it's all yin and yang. You get the white, you get the good. You need to get the bad as well. If you believe in good, you don't believe in evil. I believe there are witches out there that do practice a cult, the dark, whatever way, but you just don't hear about them. Just my thought. Demons. I believe there are demons as well, but not to the extent that people like all these ghost shows you see. So it's a demon.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of them, didn't they?
Every saying ghost demon. I believe there
Yeah.
is something, because to say you believe in good, you need to believe in evil. You can't have one without the other.
I think see with a spirit, they say there's attachments, and then you can get a nasty spirit attaching to someone. That could be, then they class it as a demon, who's possessed someone. But a lot of it can be just nasty spirits attaching to one, and I believe in that because I've witnessed people change. The way they feel. If you do investigations, you can go in a place where you just can't stop laughing, and then you go into another place and you want to cry, and then some place you go and you feel depressed, aggressive, and I've witnessed a lot of that myself, and I've had pains in my chest. So you're picking these things, which is weird. As soon as you go outside, you feel better. But
you do. I mean, that happened to us at Canongate last year. I've got a couple of comments. That happened to us at Canongate. We all felt as if we weren't wanted. I wouldn't say it was a negative feeling. It was just one of these, leave here, you're not wanted, basically. But the further we got away from Canongate, we went up to Greyfriars straight after it, and we were totally fine.
Yeah,
the atmosphere just totally lifted. But you do go into so Greyfriars, when you get into Greyfriars, when you get to the actual kirkyard, there's a kind of atmosphere. As soon as you get into the Covenanters, the atmosphere changes, and as soon as you go into the Black Mausoleum, which is in the Covenanters, it changes again.
Yeah, the atmosphere and stuff. Yeah, and people, they can get, you can make you feel, like I say, all those different feelings. It don't always happen. It's very rare that happens. And I've had scratches and I've had marks on me I can't explain. I felt something go down, felt down my neck like that, like a tickle.
Mm-hmm.
Could be a muscle spasm, could be something like you think, well, is it a spider or something? But then I walked around the corner and they said, what's happened to your neck? And there was a big red mark, like 4 or 5 fingers on my neck like that. I got pictures of it straight after. And then that started getting hotter and like heat was thing. Also, I felt something touch my head once, on top of my head, and it was like a block of ice just touched the top of my head, and it was warmish there. I say warmish, but this cold hand. I felt a hand just felt like a hand. I thought, was it a cobweb? Could be a cobweb. But this feeling was like someone just put a block of ice on my hand. I went, oh God, Jesus. And things like you get these experiences.
Sometimes it lasts. Sometimes it's very, very quick. I mean,
only a few seconds.
Quite a few times, my right hand will go basically right top, my left hand will be freezing. But Craig was saying he's 50-50 as well. The words on the headstones are of real people. He's spot on with that. That's Laura's husband. That's the other reason I like getting into graveyards, because each headstone tells a story. I know people just walk by them, so that's nice. That's nice, but they all represent, somebody that had a life, a mother, father, brother, whoever. And it does tell the story. I'm just going to skip through some of these comments just now. Kathy Adams in Dudley Castle. Have you been?
Oh, Dudley Castle. Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember what castles I've been to. I've been to quite a few places, but I can't remember. I've been. There's even Scottish ones I've done. I can't remember. Done all sorts of places. Dover. I can't remember. That'll come to when the more you do things around. I mean, I don't do as much as I used to. Bloody hell, now Andrew been abroad and stuff, and we can't remember half our stuff. We're terrible. I can't remember.
You kind of lose track. But Margaret's saying there, witches are wise women that healed, etc. Church called them witches. That's so true, especially the Pendle witches, Margaret. I mean, the Pendle witches were just normal there were normal people who were maybe being slightly a bit different with their herbs and other bits and
Yeah.
pieces. They tried to help people, but because other people didn't agree, they were named as witches. They were accused as witches. But
Scott would have been the first one. First one, he'd been definitely hanged straight away. Scott, there's no doubt. He'd be the first one to go.
I mean, the I'm not having you back on. No chance.
If he makes these PG tips like that, which that's definitely that's how they were then. They were very superstitious, very superstitious.
Very, very, and unfortunately, through all the witch trials in the UK,
sorry, Scott. Yeah, 99% apparently went to church. 99% of the population went to church. So if you're a bit different, that's your lot. Sorry, Scott, carry on.
No, it's all right. You can slag me off as much as you want. Demons are just a bad spirit. That's true. That's true. Wayne saying you can send spirits in the room knowing where they are, which is a bit weird. It's not really weird, Wayne, because sometimes it's random. I'll pick up that I've got somebody beside me and it's no kind of constant. So it's no really a weird thing, I wouldn't think.
No, this is weird.
Horror. We were doing an investigation and we found someone had hung themselves. That's right, she was. A few weeks ago, we were doing an investigation and someone had hung themselves where we were, and Laura was complaining a sore neck for some time after it.
Choking as well.
Yeah.
And people get red marks. Like Natasha had a red mark right around here, and she felt choking. And this red mark come from nowhere. It just weird. That's
what Laura had. She felt and choked. Only because you have to look up to me shortly. Craig is about 8 feet 10, 9 foot 4. So he's like up there. That's so. That's
right.
He's having a wee dig at me.
Hi, Craig.
Basically,
look up to me. You have to take some. You have to take some ladders with you, Craig, when you're here.
I swear to God, I'm up to his. I was up the other day and he was standing beside me, and I'm only up to there in him. I'm 5'6" and I'm only up to there in him. Literally, he could lean on my head. Aye, like that, What height are you? What height are you, Tim?
Yeah, I'm about 7'4". No, I'm not.
Well, you're standing on the couch.
I'm under 6 foot. I'm only a short ass, really.
The same as myself, Pendle. They were innocent when you bang on. They were innocent, as were many of the other women that were.
Yes, we were, yeah.
And it was seen as a way just to get rid of, love rivals, land rivals, as well. All you had to do is point that finger and accuse them of being a witch, and you were doomed, basically. Is there somebody beside you?
What?
Is there somebody beside you you keep pointing to?
I don't know. Probably on the wrong side. We've got quite an interesting case. I've got to remember this. We've got a case of witches around our way. I think she was the second lady to be hung as a witch, and she lived in Great Yarmouth, which is not far from me. And she lived. I think it was the. Did she come from the Star Hotel? I can't remember. I think it might have been. But the family was down here. Then they decided to get on the boat and go to America, start a new life. And she was the second one to be hung at the Salem. So we have got a connection where up the road from here. And also not far from me, which is probably about a mile, not even that, from me, but we didn't know exact the location. There was witches hung, so I'm trying to find a location which I haven't, but they were not far from where I am. Certain roads I found out, but with history, you know, it's difficult. So we've got a lot of witch connections around here as well, and also pirate connections around here as well. I didn't know. Blackbeard was one of them, and his mate has got connections around our way as well. Facts you didn't want to know. We got Nelson. He's got connections here. We got Nightingale. She's got connections here.
Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale, yeah, got connections here. We've had Kings with connections here. We've had. Did I say Nelson? Yeah, yep. Nelson's got a connection. Yeah, I know a place up there where Nelson used to stay. I think they sold one of the rooms off to America, where he used to stay. Nice bit of selling history. That pub that I was in is to do with Black Beauty. Can you remember the book? What's the bloody name? Anne Sewell or something? Seymour, is it? Anne Seymour, whatever. I get her name wrong. That pub I was in back to back, that's connected to her. Her family used to live either in there or around there. So we have a lot of history that I found out over the years. I think, wow, I didn't know that, you know.
We live in Ayrshire, and it's just recently we're starting to discover that there's a lot more history here than we actually did. We actually realise, even though we do, if channels have history, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's amazing when you can turn it, and I think that's what makes it so fascinating. The evil one was the witch finder. That's very true. It became a profession, witch finding. Money. Same as the witch prickers as well. Used to get a witch pricker whose job was basically travelling in the country. Any people who were accused of witchcraft would bring in a witch pricker who simply stood there with some kind of sharp object, implement, and poked to these women, and if they bled, they were a witch.
Yeah,
you know,
that was it.
If you were a woman of power, you were classed as a witch. Exactly. It was,
I know a few of them, Margaret, even today. I tell you, no, I'm sure.
Well, witches are powerful women. Gail's got a question for.
Oh God! The house I done. Oh my God, that was that was so active. It makes the you would say the Enfield haunting look tame. Trust me. I think every EVP recording we done, we got at least 5 or 6 EVPs on each session. The REM pods wouldn't stop. We had to switch them off in the end. That was so. Because when we switched the Wi-Fi off, we do a temperature check, EMF check. So everything got shut down, all the televisions, all the power, everything, because the house was empty. Because the family left because there was so much things going on, doors banging and and things like that. It was just all this going on at this house, and so we shut everything down. And it was just Andrew was in the kitchen once, and he could. I think he's got a recording of it, and you could hear someone walking round him. Also, I'll capture the footsteps upstairs in the bedroom, lump, 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 lump. We're all sitting in the front room, and I had the camera plan, and you could hear this heavy footprints going upstairs. Oh my God, that was so active. It was unbelievable. But luckily, we sorted it after a few investigations. That was the most active place I've ever been. It was. My batteries exploded in my bag before I got there as well, which was the second time I went, I think. My batteries exploded. And you say, well, you put batteries together, they explode, but they were separated and they smelled burning. Yeah, that belt, it's not just exploded, it twisted. All the batteries twisted and bent. Like someone had gone, like Superman had gone and twisted it.
That is weird. I've never heard of batteries doing that.
and I touched them, and they weren't even hot. They were still stone cold. So, but you could smell the burn. I said, well, you should put batteries together, and they can explode. But these were separated, so I never put batteries together. I learned that. I've learned that in the past. Never put batteries together. See, they will explode.
I've got a pouch. I keep a pouch full of batteries in our bag. So that's not a good idea then.
Oh no! I've had explosion. I've had I had a silver trophy. When I used to play pool 8 years ago, and I had I did win something once. That's not fake. That's a real trophy. I put batteries in there. We're sitting there watching telly one night, and they explode. There's some freaking sparks coming out of them, smoke coming out of it. They catch a light. They can catch a light, batteries. So what the hell? Because it's in metal as well, it sounded worse.
Right.
Yeah, they can catch. Yeah, you never leave batteries. All my equipment, I always take all the batteries out and separate them, keep them distance.
Note to yourself.
Yeah,
No bags.
yeah.
I need to get that after this live, and I've got a bag. I keep them in.
Yeah, no. You can get a little case from the pound shop where you can get little compartments and put them separate. You can actually buy a battery case where you put the batteries in a bit. As long yeah, they can explode. They can catch a light, cause house fires, all sorts.
I remember that one.
And take them out your equipment, because they can ruin your equipment as well. They rust. The acid in them. I've had equipment that's melted inside the equipment on the machines. So, yep, I always take them out.
I'll remember that. I'll remember that. We're quite lucky. Just with Neil's question.
This battery. Sorry, go on.
No,
this battery twisted like that, and I've got a picture of it, so I'll have to send you the picture. I can find it.
You're welcome. I've never ever seen a battery do that.
Nope.
We're quite lucky in respect to the places that we've invested. We've had, some places a lot of activity. We've never had anything really bad or negative happen to us yet. There's always a first time. One of the most active places after investigating a few times is that abandoned building we were at the other night. I'm not going to say where it is, but we've had quite a few things that were for the cat balls go off, the endpoint go off. Quite a few intelligent answers using the headphones. We've heard footsteps, talking, kids' laughter, echoing the kids' laughter. Lots of kind of bits and pieces. And it is quite active, so I would say, but we've not had any bad experiences so far.
That's the worst place. You felt so. You couldn't stay in the house too long because you just felt dread. It's just like horrible feeling in there. As soon as you like a dark cloud, like depressed, really depressed. As soon as you got in there, it was a horrible feeling, and I hated being in there every time I had to go in there.
As I was saying with Canongate, we get that feeling we went wanted, and our car was parked right outside. Sarah went back to the car, but I went for a walkabout, because us investigators are kind of dumb that way. If we feel we're not wanted, we'll still go in, So I went a walkabout with somebody else and came back. And when I get back to the car, I felt, that kind of feeling you feel, I don't know if you've ever woke up and thought, today's going to be a bad day, something bad's going to happen. You just get this feeling of dread.
Yeah.
Something's coming.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be good. But then, as I say, we were going up with Greyfriars straight after it, and the further we got away from Canongate, the feeling just disappeared, and everything was fine.
Yeah, it's also a cloud of. If you've ever experienced a cloud of, what I call a cloud of cold spots, it's a weird feeling when you go into an area where it seems warm, and then you go into like a cold spot, and it's freezing. It's absolutely freezing, but only in a short 6-foot area. There's no aircon. I think I've said this before. No aircon or nothing blowing cold air. It's like walking into a freezer and then you walk back out of it again. You turn around and walk back and walk through it again. This is
Aye.
indoors in the summer
Mm-hmm.
with a shop we investigated because they had stuff going on in there. And it was the weird sensation. And then it dropped something like 10 Celsius in this area, this spot, and we could not for the hell debunk what it was. It's they say it's like its own personal bubble of cold air, and it's weird. It's a weird thing.
It's really weird. We went, just for crazy other question, we went to the vaults a couple of months back now, and we're standing in the vaults, and Laura and I were standing in the back corner of this particular room, and my right foot was freezing cold. The rest of it was totally fine. And Laura, I says to Laura to stand, where I was, and it was the exact same. And one of the other girls who's no longer with, we says to her, come over to this corner and stand here. And the three, our right foot, Laura's still in the chat, our right foot was absolutely freezing, but we were warm.
Yeah.
And I couldn't explain that. That was really, really a weird feeling. What's the most important lesson you've learned about doing investigations? Respect, I would say, for the spirits.
Yep, respect, patience.
Patience, aye.
Yeah, every investigation you do is always normally different. Something always different, and always sometimes a quite calming experience and relaxing. Some things you feel that you've been watched, or they're always different. Something different about each one of them. But definitely patience and try different things, experiment different things. I can't think of any more. It's like Scott said, definitely.
Go with your gut feeling.
Yes.
Yeah. You use your apps, your bits, your gadgets, everything else. But the most important thing I felt is go with your own gut feeling, what you feel.
Yeah.
Because an app,
definitely.
Or a cat ball or a laser grid, they can't tell you how you're feeling.
Some spirits prefer speak to men. Some spirits prefer speak to women. Some prefer to speak to young males or young females.
Mm-hmm.
Even age makes a difference, apparently. With experience.
It does. We done an investigation in that building last week. The Laura's got by. It takes a lot of energy for a spirit to come through and talk to things, saying thank you for their time and their use of energies. But it is, because they obviously, as I said, they're alone in the life. To me, the only difference is they don't have a physical body. But when we're here, we like to be treated with respect. Spirits the exact same, and appreciate them as well. But as you're saying, some spirits have a preference to who they want to talk to, and it does sound weird. But we've done an investigation last week in the abandoned building, and we were using the dowsing rods. I don't know your thoughts are on them, but when we asked if the spirit wanted to talk to me, it was a very, very clear no. But when we asked if we wanted to speak to one of the girls that was there, it was a very, very clear yes.
Yes,
so
yes.
I was.
And also sometimes if you do like a house investigation, sometimes if it's difficult, but you get people, the person who's there to ask questions, because they get, like in a business as a shop owner. Sometimes the shop owner asks the questions because they know them. They've seen them every day coming in. They've seen them, so they know them, and that's another thing. That you go to a place, you might not get nothing, but if you go back, whatever, you'll find they'll open up more to you, so you get more evidence. It took me, God knows how many trips to Poplarlands to get half a load to come through. It's like a relationship. They oh well, mate, how are you? you know, and
As
things like that. So they know
I
who
used
you are.
I used to, Wayne saying, I was that Spirit's face by your left side's got a young woman, then that side then. Possibly, I don't know. Thanks for that, Wayne. I used to moan flat, and my flat, there was a few things happened in my flat, like my remote get moved, my house keys get moved. One night I was sitting watching the TV, and I had a galley kitchen, as they call it. My kitchen ran off the living room, and the kitchen, the bin lid of the bin lid of the bin, the lid of the bin came flying off. Now the bin wasn't full on, and I kind of like a wee bit because I was trying to watch the telly, and I was like, would you just pack it in? I'm watching the TV, you know. And my Buddhas would be moved slight. I'd come in for work and I'd notice maybe one or two Buddhas had moved and what. But it got to the, and people thought I was nuts for doing this, but I would talk to them just as if they were there physically. I'd come in for work and tell them about my day. Or, you know, I'd say, right, I'm going to work now, behave, I'll see you when I come in, you know, I'll see you tonight, whatever. And it just became a habit.
You talk to them like, you know, as long as you're respectful, you know, and as a person like me and Scott talking now, I think that's how it is. I mean, that's another thing that gets me when I've had these things say, is there any? This is another thing I always see in these programs and stuff. I mean, I think I probably said it myself, and I didn't realise it, and I thought about it, and I thought I don't like it. I mean, is there any spirits? No, it's not saying there's any spirits here, whatever. But what does that actually mean? You know, oh, you mean spirit? But how would you know who you're talking to if you just spirits? There could be a 200, 5,000 turn up because you're saying all of them. I never understood that. So I always try and say, is there anyone who want to come forward? Not spirits, because spirits could be alcohol, I don't know, as well. So it's like,
I think we've all done it, you know, my first
it's just a personal thing. I've done it, I've said it, and then I thought, if I'm saying, is there any spirits? Now, if you're past and you're just yourself, you'd be thinking, spirits? What's he on about, spirits? Any alcohol? I don't know. You got to just, that's the thing I don't use as much. I'll probably still do it. I'll probably still say it by mistake, but I don't like saying it. I just say, is there anyone, you know, anyone who wants to come forward, you know, speak to us? I try not to use spirits because they make no sense to me.
Well, that's that. You know, we've all done in the past, you know, especially when we first started doing it, because I think we've watched programs, we've watched other teams, this is what they say. So when you start out, you think, right, this is what I need to ask. Because
never copy
adventure what asked it, so I'm going to ask it. But as time goes on, I think you get more and more used to investigating. You get into your own kind of way of working. I think, right, well, as you say there, we're on about fish and chips thing and what have you. I'm not going to ask if they're male or female. I'll ask if they like fish and chips.
Yes.
Or whatever.
What's your favourite colour? You know, things like that. So, what's your favourite colour? We got an EVP saying yellow. You know, I got response. It's difficult. Just everyday things. You know. What's that, Kathy?
I don't know they're dead, so would not respond to being called spirits. I had a difficult moment in my house.
Yes. If you called spirits, of course. What's that saying, Nathan News? That's Scott in it. Nothing to do with me. Because I get enough of that.
I used to have a hi-fi that I've not had to be called that for a long time, a hi-fi. Craig's showing his age here.
The volume knob. The volume knob. That's what we call the volume knob.
No, well,
it's a button now, isn't it?
It's a remote now, isn't it? It's a remote. But no, he's right. I mean, it's wee things that can happen. You see, my TV, quite instance, I was a creature of habit in my old flat, and every night I turn the TV off and I take the remote and I put it down in front of the TV on the wee stand up on it. And I've done it every night, and then this one particular day I went to get it and it wasn't there. I thought, right, well, that's weird, that's my remote. Looked in the coffee table, the kitchen, the fridge, the usual places you might put it. Could not find this thing anywhere. And then I went out of my bedroom, and my bedroom was quite big, and my bed in the middle, and I happened to look underneath and I saw this black shape, and I get down my hands and knees, and it was my TV remote. It was halfway underneath my double bed. And I loved myself, and I don't know. I told people in the work about it, and they say, you must have done it. So why would I put my TV remote halfway underneath my bed?
Yeah, I know. I just saying, you just saying that. We had someone speaking to a case we worked on, and the lady put the house keys down, went to get them, they vanished. And he goes, wait. And these really are, like, honestly, like non-believers. They think there's a load of tish-tosh, a load of rubbish. Well, they're not, sort of thing. And they couldn't find the keys. They could not find the keys. 2 weeks for these bloody keys. They got up one morning, went in the kitchen. Guess what? The keys are sitting on the work surface, right in the middle. Mm-hmm. And my keys.
Telling people outside, they wouldn't believe you.
No.
Like he's turning out after 2 weeks, my remote on the bed, yeah. Craig's volume getting turned up, things that you just cannot explain. I've had that happen in this PC sometimes. After we've come off live, some of the comments will pop up to earlier on, and I'm not touching it. But the comments will pop up on my screen. And
we get all sorts with the equipment. They switched the goose's box off. They switched this off, drained that. It's not a recurring thing. It's hard to keep up. I've got 12, 13 9-volt batteries sitting there. But you charge them up, they'll drain them. You charge them. Your camera switched off. I did one of my speaker, like Bluetooth speaker thing I use for boost. You can hear it super loud. Got a little light on. And that just completely switched off. I looked at the back of it, and the actual button switched off. No one's touched it. It just sat in front of us. I think it was on a live, I can't remember. Just switched it off. Don't know. I just shut it. SLS camera shut off.
It's just all weird. I've never done anything fly off the wall. It's just wee things. There's Laura saying that her aunt lost an engagement ring. We were in the bedroom one day, an engagement ring sitting on a new dressing table.
Yes. Yeah. It's. I like to witness these things, right? I'd like to see these things float around and then land somewhere, but that doesn't happen. I don't think you're ever meant to see it. I think there's something. We get things happen and we've got our backs turned, trust me, and then they'll happen, or the cameras are switched off. Sometimes we get more activity with the cameras switched off than they're on. Certain locations. If you go there with cameras, you won't capture nothing hardly as sausage. But if you switch all the cameras off, boom, the activity goes wild. It's
we set up a walked off camera one night in here, and we put a cat ball on one of the chairs, and we just let the camera run. We went to bed, and the wee one see that dinosaur at a toy store. It was sitting at one end of the couch. You look at the film. After 6.5 minutes, one of the cat balls went off.
Oh, right, and
you can see the dinosaur sitting at one end of the couch. But for some reason, the camera cut off after about 3.5 hours. When we came into the living room the next morning, we were looking at it, the dinosaur was at the other end of the couch.
Oh, right, yeah. Can you catch it on camera?
But that's the thing, we never go on camera. But you
No.
can clearly see the dinosaur sitting at the end of the couch, which was underneath the window. And
Yeah.
then we came into the room, and it was at the other end. The wee one, she hadn't been in the living room, and the cats couldn't move the dinosaur. And we couldn't explain it, but it was clear sitting there. But we never saw it.
If you go to a location and they switch your cameras off, leave them off, trust me, you'll get more better experience. I know it's annoying, frustrating, but keep them off because they're saying, you're not switching them cameras on, mate. You've got no hope.
Like, you leave the cameras off because we want something to happen. You know what I mean? But
yes.
I thought we'll wind it up there for now, buddy.
Yes. All right, mate. Okay.
I'll hold on to you after we come off the live. So thanks very much, Tim. It's been quite a good hour and a half.
Yes, and don't forget to share, everyone. Come on, where are you? I don't know where.
Share it out. Yeah, share it
all
out.
Vanished.
And all.
Get it shared out.
Tim will be back with us in the near future, but we're back on tomorrow night with author and investigator Mark Edgerton.
Can I just mention something quickly before we go?
Yep, fire away.
Wiz Beach Castle, we're doing an event there, if anyone's interested in Wiz Beach, UK. It's 25 quid, I think, but like I say, it's got vaults there as well, so anyone interested in joining us there, but we're only taking a certain amount, we're not having a lot of people going, so it's limited, only a few spaces left. If you're interested, contact us on the page, if you're interested. I was waiting for Wayne to go, yes bud, I'll go.
There you go.
Well, you better start paying Mandy, Wayne. Get your money in. Start contact Mandy. It's on our page.
Are the details up on your Ghosted UK page?
Yeah, under events, and there's a link under the comments, and it's got to Mandy. Get yourself booked in.
Yeah, give it. Cheers, Craig, and the lovely Laura.
Oh, Laura, thank you. Yeah. Hi, Laura.
Yeah, give Tim's page a week, Ghosted UK, and you'll get all the details on there.
Yes.
I
think Wayne's going to go, I think. He said he's going to go, so.
I'll be talking to Wayne very, very soon. Something I'll talk to Wayne about. But we'll be having Tim back with us very, very soon, folks. So don't miss him too much, even though he calls me a witch. Don't miss him too much. And we're back tomorrow night at 9:30. See, there's a finger I always get the finger one way or another. And I mean that in a good way.
You know, I'm only joking. Still a witch.
I know. I'm actually 9. I'm 9 feet 4 in real life.
When we come off here, he'll be getting his pin cushion with him look like me going.
I'll be getting.
Or was that voodoo? Yeah. Yes.
That's one of my Buddhas. That's my favourite Buddha.
Ow! Ow!
Sarah's mum tried to blag that one off me the other day. She was trying to persuade me to give her it. And I was like, no chance.
That's cool. I like that. Yeah.
That's sits beside my desk. So Sarah's mum wanted to.
How'd you get a model of yourself like that? I'd like one myself. I think, can we have 2 of them like that?
That was sarcasm.
Yes. We'll get 2 Buddhas. Me, Scott and Tim like that. Sit there on our bellies.
I've actually I must say.
This is a wig.
This is a wig as well.
Oh, right. I thought you just come back from swimming where you had to wear those hats. That's what I always say.
Do you remember? Do you still get them? The David Wilkie hats, remember?
Yeah. You have to wear them.
Fall down was not good to me in the weight department, I'm afraid.
Oh, God, I've got to lose some weight, Scott. Honestly, what was that diet I was supposed to be going on? What? You said the other day, today? You said I had something thing, that joke you said, takeaway or something. What was that? I can't remember that. That was quite good. I can't remember that. I was going to say it tonight. I forgot. Yeah, I'm on some sort of. She said takeaway, and it had to be something else, weren't it? You remember? I can't remember. Something to do with dieting. Yeah, I got to go on a diet.
Oh, I know. I need to. I really need to. Don, you really want you back, dog. Sorry you missed it. Thanks, Gail,
How you
dog.
doing?
And Lane has gone grey from wife nagging. I'll say nothing
away
when we
from-
can comment again. I'm saying
Nothing-
nothing, Wayne.
Nothing to do with us. No.
That's right.
That's because he wants to go to the event thing, and she's saying, "No, you bloody ain't. You ain't going anyway. We're going on holiday. That means you're not going any investigations."
Oh.
End of.
We're going abroad and you will enjoy it. You know that one, we're going on holiday and you will enjoy it. You're not getting an option. I mean,
You're going on holiday, Wayne, not ghost hunting. You've been told. Just bring your wife.
David Wilkie, there's a go. I remember David Wilkie. I don't think that's how you spell it, but I think it was Wilkie.
David Wilkie. Good God, yeah.
Him, the mullet and the moustache. He used to put that hat on.
Yeah. Well, you had to do it skilled, didn't you? You had to put that because you didn't want the hair to ruin the swimming pool.
I had to do it, I still do it in the swimming.
Yeah, when you got yours. It's about time you took it off.
See, that's the thing. Nobody ever notices when I get my hair done. You get these people and they go to the hairdressers or the barbers, whatever your preference, and
what you still do?
I go to Turkey. Well, I do it myself, but I go to Turkish barber.
But do you shave? Do you shave it because it went grey? That's the question.
No, I've been doing this since I was 21, 22.
Right.
So it's no. I could grow hair if I wanted, but I can't be annoyed. With all that shampoo and stuff.
Put a thumbs up if you believe Scott with that one. Put your thumb. I'd like to see him.
I mean, see, when I go to Tesco, I'll go into the shampoo aisle and I'll get a bottle and I'll empty it into a cap and I'll take the cap to the checkout. Shampoo. So I don't need it. That's all I need. Is it for that?
Yeah, but that suits you, Scott. That suits you.
But you see, I can't be annoyed with all that hair dryers and brushes and combs and blah.
Pretty annoying.
It's just no me. I just and that's it. And Scott uses wash and go. So my hair got up and went, though.
Go and went. It's go and went. It's not. It was there. It was there. Now it's gone. Oh, Duncan Goodhue. Oh yes. He was he's a swimmer, wasn't he? Yeah.
He was.
He didn't have to wear a hat.
Anyway, when did my hairstyle become the focus of his life?
I always do. It's either that or you fallen off a chair once because you'd ate too many pies. I remember that.
That happened twice.
I'll never forget that. Oh, you said don't mention that.
That happened. That happened twice actually. The first time I fell off, and the second time I broke it.
Probably a dodgy chair.
It was the second time we'd CRA Entertainment on, and on my way down, I managed to kick the lead for the camera and knock the camera off as well. So I left CRA sitting on the panel with nothing to do. Well, I tried to compose myself and get the camera working again. That was a good night. But however, on that note, we shall wind it up there for now, folks. Thanks very much for coming in. Last comment has got to go to Craig, I'm afraid. As a topic, your hair is blinding to the eye, Scott. Thank you. Craig, you and I will talk very soon, buddy. That's all I'm going to say. So, we're back tomorrow night, 9:30 with Mark, and Tim. Will be seeing Tim again very, very soon. So until next time, thanks to everybody who came in to chat, and we'll see you all soon. And take care.
See you
soon.
Bye. Bye.